Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jamie Holmes in for Anna Manuel. Getting and keeping the power back on for everyone is proving to be a challenge thanks to this unsettled weather. Big Fox's Sonia Ellison has our update tonight.
High winds in the southern tier left thousands without power this week. Thousands of outages were reported in Steuben County yesterday, with most having their power swiftly restored within a day. But last night, more outages were reported. Over 2,000 people were without power as of this morning in Seneca County after 54-mile-per-hour wind gusts were reported. Cayuga reported similar numbers. NYSEG closed State Route 414 in Corning last night between Pine Hill and Winfield Street for an outage caused by a downed tree. Traffic and power was restored by midnight, but most locals were without Spectrum Internet or Dish satellite services still today. Odessa closed Texas Hollow Road last night thanks to a downed tree. Locals said the town was hit hard along with Alpine. NYSEG delivered dry ice and water bottles to customers affected by the outages. NYSEG continues to repair the over 70 broken poles in our area as they also clear fallen trees and debris. Most should have power back by noon tomorrow, with those in Ithaca expected to have their power restored as early as tonight. But for those of us in the southern tier, the power pains may have only just begun. A storm system coming late tomorrow may bring more strong winds and a wintry mix of snow and rain this weekend, possibly causing more flooding and outages. More snow is expected Tuesday through Wednesday from a coastal storm. Sonia Ellison, Big Fox News.
Multiple fire crews responded to a house fire in Athensboro, Pennsylvania after a report at 204 Tyler Street at about 9:30 last night. Athensboro police confirmed there was one fatality. They identified the man as 62-year-old Donald Chandler. No additional injuries were reported by first responders. More updates are expected, though, as the investigation continues. It's a last dash for GOP contenders before Iowa's caucus on Monday. Former President Donald Trump is the frontrunner in the race, but are his legal issues overshadowing his campaign? Rebecca Castor has more.
While his competitors make last-ditch efforts in Iowa before caucus day, GOP frontrunner Donald Trump is tied up in courtrooms.
But this is a political witch hunt, the likes of which nobody's ever seen before.
Thursday, attorneys gave closing arguments in the former president's civil fraud case in New York. The judge's verdict, which he's expected to issue in the coming weeks, could dramatically impact Trump's businesses.
It's a shame that a thing like this is able to happen. Businesses leave New York. She went after Exxon, and they decided to move to Texas. I paid over $300 million of taxes over the last number of years.
But this won't be the end to Trump's legal woes. He's facing up to 4 criminal trials this year, all while running for president.
We're giving the Democrats a huge advantage because those are terms that the Democrats would love to fight the election on.
But voters don't seem to mind. Trump remains at the top of every poll despite his legal issues. Chris Christie even tried campaigning off the former president's downfalls, and now he's out.
He wants you to be angry so that you'll relate to his anger and then to vote for him.
Meanwhile, Trump's closest contenders keep trying to pitch themselves as the Trump alternative.
He's not willing to debate and get on the stage and get in that environment.
Trump didn't show up on the debate stage. That's unfortunate. He's got a lot of things to answer for.
Monday, Iowans will cast the first votes of the 2024 election. And the next day, Trump's second civil trial in New York begins, in which a jury will determine how much Trump should pay after he was sued for defamation. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Hunter Biden has pled not guilty to federal tax charges in a Los Angeles court. The son of the president is facing 9 felony and misdemeanor tax offenses stemming from a 4-year scheme to skip out on paying $1.1 million that he owes to the IRS. Prosecutors say he instead used the money to fund an extravagant lifestyle. The troubles don't end there for Hunter Biden. He has also been charged in Delaware with lying on a federal form for gun buyers in 2018 when he claimed he wasn't using or addicted to illegal drugs. It's looking more likely that Congress could blow past yet another government funding deadline and force a partial shutdown. The depth of spending cuts Republicans want are a perennial sticking point, and this year U.S. border policy is becoming another thorny issue. Carolyn Childley reports from Washington.
It's crunch time in Congress. They're almost out of time and money.
A shutdown is looming over us starting on January 19th.
That leaves them a week to push 12 appropriations bills through committee, both houses and the White House. Unlikely, so it might be time for Plan B.
The temporary extension of government funding.
It's called a continuing resolution and would fund the government at current levels for a few weeks or months, also known as kicking the can down the road. Without it, 20% of the government shuts down, including some veteran services, military construction, and food and drug inspections. But unless there's a border deal and a budget cut, a group of hardline Republicans in the House says, shut it down.
We're in $34 trillion in debt. If we're going to pass anything moving forward, we need a very limited government funding deal.
Democrats say they have a plan on the table that secures the border and keeps the government open. But the price tag is $1.6 trillion for the rest of the fiscal year. So can they get it through the House?
We're having thoughtful conversations about funding options and priorities.
At this point, House Republicans can't organize a two-car funeral.
January 19th is just the first deadline. Without a deal, the rest of the government shuts down on February 2nd. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
The New England Patriots and Bill Belichick are parting ways. Belichick was at the helm of the team for 24 seasons, winning 6 Super Bowl championships during his tenure as a head coach. The 71-year-old said today he will always be a Patriot, but he is expected to get offers from other teams. Former quarterback Tom Brady saluted him on social media in response to the news, saying he was a great leader for the organization and for all of the players who played for him. A new record for the Transportation Security Administration last year for the number of firearms they found at airport checkpoints. Last year, TSA says agents found 6,737 firearms during security screenings. Out of those, about 93% were loaded. In the last quarter of the year, TSA officers found an average of about 18 firearms per day. Despite this, over the course of 2023, TSA agents found 7.8 firearms per 1 million passengers. That's actually down from 8.6% in 2022. Depending on local laws, if a firearm is found, law enforcement officers may either arrest or cite the passenger, but they'll face a fine either way. We've got an in-depth look at your weather forecast coming up, and are we witnessing the restaurant of the future? Get an inside look at an all-AI eatery.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Good evening. After some weak disturbances today, we're allowing some areas of some lake effect snow and some wintry mix slide its way through the Finger Lakes. We are working into a little bit of a quiet period here through the overnight, even seeing some partially decreasing clouds there. Temperatures falling into those lower 30s with light winds. But that next system is going to be gearing up to bring impacts by the end of the day tomorrow. Looking to be a little mixed at onset, but then lifting in some warmer air that is going to bring some moderate downpours that will lead to some flooding concerns with the rain and the snow we've been experiencing, as well as watching that wind is going to bring wind concerns as well, looking at the potential of getting those 40-50 mile per hour gusts that again could lead to some power outages. And then following this next system with those concerns through Saturday, next week we are going to be watching temperatures continuously get colder with some slight light snow chances. Now again, we're still pretty quiet to start off the day, but by the afternoon conditions start to ramp up. We'll note that winds will start to increase there out of the southeast, bringing some gusts after sunset upwards of that 30 to 40 mile per hour threshold. And that is that system starting to lift in. Now there is going to be this stationary front falling across New York. Now we're sitting just on the southerly side of that. So it does look like there may be a little bit of mix at onset, but then transitioning to rain showers looks to be likely. So there's some morning sunshine, cloud cover increases, wind increases, and that event arrives there just around that 10 o'clock time frame. Again, a little bit of blue in the mix, but then turning to rain showers. We'll stay underneath some scattered rain showers, maybe even some breaks of some clear skies, but it's going to be pretty blustery into Saturday morning. And then the backside of that system is going to allow for another round of some snow showers, blowing snow of a risk there for reduced visibility. We see that rainfall accumulation could exceed a half an inch, upwards of an inch. So again, triggering some flooding concerns along already elevated river levels, and then also bringing in some potential snow chances again at onset a little bit and on that departure. Not looking significant, but enough to create some of those slick roads, especially with some cooling that's going to come on the backside of that system. So we'll see that into our Friday. We'll hold to highs into those upper 30s, and we'll actually continue to warm into Saturday, which is what makes us allow for that little bit of that wintry mix, but transition to rain showers, hitting those even lower 40s early on Saturday. And then by Saturday sunset, there is that cooler air that rushes in, and it creates that transition back to some light snow showers. Now that transition is going to come with those blustery winds, at least getting 40-mile-per-hour gusts, if not higher gusts, that will last all the way through Sunday with some of those light snow chances. So one, power outages with these types of gusts, and then two, seeing some reduced visibility within some of those snow showers that will last through Sunday. We get a small break on Monday, and then we're talking some light snow chances as we continue to watch that temperatures throughout the week will get cooler, and then we could be dealing with Arctic air by the weekend.